There are 8 behaviors that will quietly destroy you. 8 silent assassins dressed as love, loyalty, and family obligation. Machiavelli saw them 5 centuries ago in the courts of Florence, where poison was poured by those who smiled widest. He warned that the deadliest betrayals come not from enemies, but from those closest to the throne. And you have tolerated at least 3 of them. Maybe more. The question is not whether you recognize them. The question is whether you have the spine to do what comes next. If you want to learn what most people will spend their entire lives avoiding, then subscribe now. This is not advice for the gentle. This is doctrine for those who refuse to be devoured in silence. Most people die with their boundaries unspoken. They spend 60, 70, 80 years allowing behavior they despise, from people they love, and they call it peace. But it is not peace. It is slow collapse. It is the rot that starts in the walls before the house falls. Machiavelli understood that power is not seized in grand moments. It is lost in small permissions. Every time you tolerate what diminishes you, you teach the world what you are worth. And the world is always watching. Let me tell you what happens in the invisible architecture of relationships. There are actions people take that seem minor. A comment here. A request there. A joke at your expense. A guilt trip wrapped in concern. You let it pass because confrontation feels worse than endurance. But here is what you do not see. Each moment of tolerance is a vote. You are voting on what reality you will accept. And after enough votes, the election is over. You have become someone who can be treated any way at all. Comment below which of these 8 behaviors you have tolerated the longest. Be honest with yourself, even if you lie to me. Machiavelli spent his life studying one thing. Not war. Not politics. Control. Specifically, how it transfers from one person to another without a single weapon drawn. He watched princes fall not because they were weak in battle, but because they were weak in permission. They allowed small humiliations. They tolerated advisors who insulted them privately. They forgave family members who stole their dignity in public. And one day, they woke up ruled by those they thought they ruled. The throne had not moved, but the prince had become a servant. This is not a metaphor. This is happening in your life right now. Behavior 1. Emotional manipulation disguised as care. There is a specific kind of violence that leaves no bruises. It arrives with tears, with concern, with the phrase, "I am only saying this because I love you." The person who wields it knows exactly what they are doing. They have learned that if they frame control as care, you will accept it. And you do, because rejecting it feels cruel. But let me show you the anatomy of this weapon. It begins with a crisis. Real or invented, it does not matter. They come to you destabilized, anxious, hurt, and they need you to fix it. Not by solving a problem, but by changing yourself. Your plans, your boundaries, your truth. They say things like, "If you really cared about me, you would not go." Or, "I cannot believe you would do this to me right now." The crisis is always now. The demand is always immediate. And the cost is always your autonomy. Here is what Machiavelli knew. The person who can create an emergency can control your time. And the person who controls your time controls your life. This is why manipulators are always in crisis. It is not chaos. It is strategy. You think you are helping. You think you are being compassionate. But compassion is not the same as compliance. Compassion can say no. Compassion can let someone sit in the consequences of their own choices. What you are doing is not compassion. It is fear. You are afraid that if you do not bend, they will break. Or worse, they will leave. And you have been taught that being left is the worst thing that can happen to you. But Machiavelli would ask you a different question. What is worse? Being abandoned by someone who only stays when you obey? Or abandoning yourself every day to keep them comfortable? Let that sit for a moment. Do not rush past it. There was a story Machiavelli never wrote but lived. A prince in his region kept a close advisor, a man who had been with him since childhood. This advisor had a gift. Anytime the prince made a decision that did not favor the advisor's interests, the advisor would fall ill. Not physically, emotionally. He would weep. He would remind the prince of their shared history. He would say, "After all I have sacrificed for you." And every time, the prince would reverse his decision. The advisor was never sick. He was simply skilled. And within 5 years, the prince was no longer governing his own kingdom. He was performing the will of a man who had weaponized love. You know someone like this. Maybe you live with them. If you are starting to feel uncomfortable, good. That discomfort is information. Subscribe so you do not forget what you are learning right now. Emotional manipulation works because it hides inside something sacred. No one wants to be the person who ignores someone in pain. But there is a difference between pain and performance. Pain asks for support. Performance demands surrender. Pain says, "I am struggling." Performance says, "Your struggle does not matter until mine is solved." And the manipulator always makes sure their struggle is never fully solved. Because a solved problem ends their leverage. Watch what happens when you set a boundary with someone who manipulates emotionally. They do not get angry. Anger is too honest. They get wounded. They become the victim of your cruelty. You, who only asked for basic respect, are now the villain. And if you apologize, if you retract the boundary, they recover instantly. The pain vanishes. Because it was never real. It was a test. And you failed. Machiavelli said the prince must learn to recognize tests. Because life in the court is nothing but tests. Every conversation, every favor, every emotional appeal. People are constantly probing to see what you will tolerate. And the moment you tolerate something once, it becomes the new floor. They will build on it. Here is the trap. You think if you just explain yourself better, they will understand. So you justify. You over-explain. You apologize for having needs. But the manipulator does not misunderstand you. They just disagree that your needs matter. And no amount of explaining will change that. You are negotiating with someone who has already decided you are the resource, not the person. Stop explaining. Stop defending. Just state the boundary and let the discomfort exist. Comment right now. Have you ever apologized for setting a boundary? Tell me what happened. There is a coldness required here that most people are not willing to access. It is not cruelty. It is clarity. The clarity to say, "I see what you are doing, and it will not work anymore." The clarity to let someone be upset without rushing to fix it. Because their upset is not your emergency. It never was. But you were raised to believe that it is your job to manage the emotions of everyone around you. Especially family. Especially the people who say they love you. And so you have become a full-time emotional janitor, cleaning up storms you did not create, while your own life floods in the corner. Machiavelli would tell you this. The prince who tries to please everyone loses the kingdom. Not because he is hated, but because he is not feared. And fear, in this context, does not mean terror. It means respect. It means people know there is a line, and crossing it has a cost. Without that, you are not loved. You are used. Let me be more specific. If someone in your life only reaches out when they need something, that is not a relationship. That is a vending machine with your face on it. If someone only remembers you exist when they are in crisis, you are not their loved one. You are their insurance policy. And if they punish you emotionally every time you prioritize yourself, then they do not love you. They love what you do for them. And the moment you stop doing it, you will see who they really are. This is the part where you must decide. Do you want to be loved, or do you want to be free? Because with certain people, you cannot have both. Behavior 2. Disrespect disguised as honesty. There is a phrase people use right before they destroy you. I am just being honest. As if honesty is a free pass to say anything, in any tone, at any time. As if cruelty stops being cruelty when you call it truth. But Machiavelli knew this trick. He saw it in every court. The advisor who insults the prince and then hides behind candor. The cousin who humiliates you at dinner and calls it keeping it real. This is not honesty. This is dominance dressed in virtue. Here is how it works. Someone says something vicious. You react. They accuse you of being too sensitive. I was just being honest. I thought you could handle the truth. But notice what they do not say. They do not say, I delivered that truth in the most destructive way possible because I wanted to hurt you. That part stays quiet. Because the goal was never honesty. The goal was to wound you and make you blame yourself for bleeding. Real honesty does not require an audience. It does not need to embarrass you to be effective. It does not arrive with a smirk. If someone truly cares about you, they will tell you hard truths in private, with care, at a time when you can actually receive it. But the person who disrespects you in public and calls it honesty is doing something else entirely. They are establishing rank. They are showing everyone in the room that they can say anything to you, and you will take it. Machiavelli called this the public lesson. It is when someone disciplines you socially to remind others of their position. It is not about you. It is about the room. And if you laugh it off, if you play along, you have just agreed to your own demotion. Tell me in the comments, has someone ever humiliated you in front of others and then acted like you were overreacting? There was a Duke Machiavelli observed who had a brother. The brother would mock him at every gathering. Small cuts, jokes about his weight, his decisions, his wife. And every time the Duke smiled. He thought enduring it made him noble. But the court did not see nobility. They saw weakness. And within a year, the brother was negotiating treaties on behalf of the Duke without permission. He had tested the Duke in public and found no resistance. So he took what he wanted. You are that Duke every time you let someone disrespect you and do nothing. And I know what you are thinking. But they are family. But we have history. But they do not mean it like that. Yes, they do. Someone who loves you does not repeatedly make you feel small. That is not love. That is contempt with a holiday card. Here is the test. If you told them clearly and calmly, I need you to stop speaking to me that way, what would happen? If they apologize and change, it was a blind spot. If they get defensive, tell you are too sensitive, or do it again the next week, it was intentional. And intentional disrespect is not a communication problem. It is a power problem. You cannot fix a power problem with better communication. You can only fix it by redistributing power. And that means consequences. Machiavelli said the prince must be willing to punish disloyalty, even when it is expensive. Even when it is family. Especially when it is family. Because the court is always watching. If they see that blood gets a pass, they learn that proximity equals immunity. And soon, everyone close to you will treat you like a doormat, because you have taught them that closeness means consequence-free cruelty. This is where most people break. They can set boundaries with strangers, but with family, with the people they have known their whole lives, that feels impossible. Feels like betrayal. But let me reframe it. What is more loyal? Letting someone poison themselves with unchecked behavior, or loving them enough to say, not with me. Not anymore. You are not responsible for their growth. But you are responsible for what you allow in your presence. If this is landing hard, subscribe. You are going to need to remember this later. There is a specific tone disrespect uses. It is condescension. It is sarcasm. It is the laugh that comes right after they have said something cutting. And it is always followed by, I am just joking. Why are you so serious? But jokes are not accidents. Jokes are trial balloons. If you laugh, the disrespect grows. If you stay silent, the disrespect grows. The only thing that stops it is naming it. That was disrespectful. 4 words. No explanation. No softening. Just the truth. And then you watch what happens. Because how someone responds to that sentence tells you everything. A good person will pause. Reflect. Apologize. A toxic person will escalate. They will mock you for being sensitive. They will bring up everything you have ever done wrong. They will turn your boundary into an interrogation of your character. Let them. Do not defend. Just repeat. That was disrespectful. I will not tolerate it. And then leave the room, the call, the relationship if you have to. Because Machiavelli's ultimate lesson was this: you teach people how to treat you by what you walk away from. Behavior 3. Chronic boundary violation. There are people in your life who do not see boundaries. They see suggestions, requests, preferences they can ignore if they disagree. You say, "Please do not show up unannounced." They show up unannounced. You say, "I need space right now." They text you 15 times. You say, "Do not share that with anyone." They tell 3 people by dinner. And every time you confront them, they have the same response. "I did not think you really meant it." But you did mean it. And they knew you meant it. They just did not care. Machiavelli watched rulers fall to this all the time. Not in war. In erosion. A king sets a rule. A noble ignores it. The king lets it slide. The next week, 2 nobles ignore it. Within a month, the rule is a joke. And the king wonders why no one listens to him anymore. It is because he taught them that his word has no weight. Your boundaries are only as real as your enforcement. If you set a boundary and do not enforce it, you have not set a boundary. You have made a wish. And people do not respect wishes. They respect consequences. Here is what chronic boundary violators rely on: your guilt, your fear of conflict, your belief that being kind means being flexible. So they push. And when you push back, they make you feel like you are the problem. Why are you being so rigid? Why are you making such a big deal out of this? I was just trying to help. But help that you did not ask for is not help. It is control. Let me give you an example. You tell a family member you are not discussing your relationship with them anymore. It is off limits. The next time you see them, what is the first thing they ask about? Your relationship. You remind them of the boundary. They say, "I am just checking in because I care." No. They are checking to see if you will fold. And if you answer the question, even politely, you have just taught them that your boundaries are negotiable. Machiavelli said this: a prince must never make a threat he is not willing to execute. Because an empty threat is worse than no threat at all. It reveals that your power is performance. And once people know that, you are finished. Comment below. What boundary have you set that someone refuses to respect? There is a specific kind of person who violates boundaries chronically. They are not evil. They are not malicious. They are simply more committed to their comfort than your dignity. And that is enough to destroy you over time. Because every violation is a small theft. They steal your time, your energy, your peace. And because they do it with a smile, with good intentions, you feel guilty for being angry. But your anger is not the problem. Your anger is data. It is your system telling you that something is wrong. And when you ignore it to keep the peace, you are choosing their comfort over your own integrity. How long are you willing to do that? Here is the truth about boundaries. They are not mean. They are not selfish. They are the architecture of respect. Without them, every relationship becomes a contest of who can endure more. And you have been losing that contest your entire life. So what do? You stop explaining. Boundary violators love when you explain, because explanations give them something to argue with. Instead, you state and enforce. I am not discussing this. And when they bring it up again, you leave. You hang up. You go quiet. Not as punishment, as policy. Because people do not learn from your words. They learn from your actions. Machiavelli would tell you that the prince who negotiates his own boundaries will lose his kingdom 1 inch at a time. And you are the prince. Your life is the kingdom. And every time you let someone cross a line you set, you are giving away land you will never get back. If you are realizing you have been giving away land for years, subscribe so you can start taking it back. There is a reason boundary violators pick you. It is not random. They can sense who will fold, who will prioritize harmony over self-respect, who has been trained to believe that their needs matter less than everyone else's. And they build their entire relationship with you on that foundation. The moment you reinforce a boundary, the entire structure shakes. And they will do everything they can to make you return to form. They will guilt you. I cannot believe you are being like this. They will love bomb you. I just miss spending time with you. They will recruit others. Talk to them, they have been acting so strange lately. All of it is designed to make you think that you are the problem. But you are not the problem. You are just no longer the solution to their entitlement. Hold the line. Even if it costs you the relationship. Especially if it costs you the relationship. Because a relationship that only works when you have no boundaries is not a relationship. It is captivity with holiday visits. Behavior 4. The debt collector mentality. There are people who give to you not as a gift, but as an invoice. They help you, support you, show up for you, and every act of kindness is recorded in a ledger you did not know existed. You think you are receiving love, but you are accruing debt. And one day they will come to collect. It does not happen right away. That is the trap. They give freely at first. Generously, even. They offer time, money, favors, advice. And you are grateful. You say thank you. You try to reciprocate. But the scales are never balanced, because they are weighing something you cannot see. They are weighing leverage. Machiavelli wrote about this extensively. He said that gifts from a prince are never free. Every favor is a thread. And the prince who accepts too many threads will wake up one day wrapped in a web. The favor giver does not want your gratitude. They want your obligation. And once you are obligated, they own a piece of your will. Here is how you recognize it. They remind you of what they have done. Constantly. After everything I have done for you, I was there for you when no one else was. You would not be here without me. Every sentence is a withdrawal slip. They are cashing in your guilt, your loyalty, your sense of fairness. And the price is always the same. Your compliance. The debt collector does not ask you to do what you want. They ask you to do what they want. And they frame it as repayment. You owe them. And if you refuse, you are ungrateful. You are selfish. You have forgotten where you came from. But you have not forgotten anything. You have simply realized that love is not supposed to come with a payment plan. Tell me in the comments, has anyone ever thrown past help in your face to control your present? Machiavelli saw this in the Italian courts constantly. A wealthy merchant would fund a political campaign. The politician would win. And for the rest of his career, he was not a leader. He was an employee. Every decision had to pass through the man who paid for his rise. The favor was never a favor. It was a down payment on a puppet. You have someone like this in your life. Maybe it is a parent who paid for your education and now believes they have a vote in every decision you make. Maybe it is a friend who helped you through a hard time and now expects you to prioritize them above your own family. Maybe it is a partner who supported you financially and now holds it over your head every time you disagree. The debt is never financial. The debt is existential. They believe they own a part of you, and they will collect until you have nothing left. Here is what you must understand. A true gift has no strings. It is given freely, without expectation of return. The moment someone attaches a condition, retroactively or otherwise, it was never a gift. It was bait. And you swallowed it. So what do? You name it. I appreciate what you did for me. But I did not agree to a lifetime of obligation. If your help came with conditions, you should have told me up front. And then you watch them scramble. Because debt collectors rely on your silence. They rely on you being too polite to name the transaction. The moment you name it, the spell breaks. And yes, they will be furious. They will accuse you of being heartless, of using them, of forgetting all they sacrificed. Let them. Their anger is not proof that you are wrong. It is proof that you were right. Because if the gift was real, your freedom would not threaten it. Machiavelli said that the prince must be careful about who he accepts help from. Because help is the oldest form of chain. It feels soft. It feels warm. But it tightens every day. And one morning, you wake up unable to move. If you have ever felt trapped by gratitude, subscribe. You need to hear what comes next. The most insidious part of the debt collector is that they make you complicit. You start to believe you do owe them. You start to edit your decisions based on what they will think. You avoid opportunities because it might upset them. You shrink yourself to fit inside their expectation of who you should be after all they have done. And every year, you become smaller. This is not love. Love does not shrink people. Love does not hold the past hostage to control the future. Love gives and lets go. Anything else is investment. And you are the stock they are trading. Here is your way out. Stop trying to repay a debt that was never real. You do not owe someone your life because they were kind to you once. You do not owe someone your future because they were present in your past. Gratitude is not the same as servitude. And the moment you confuse the two, you stop being a person and become a possession. Set yourself free, even if they never forgive you for it. Especially if they never forgive you for it. Behavior 5. Public humiliation. There is a kind of cruelty that only happens in front of others. It needs an audience to work. The insult at the family dinner. The joke at your expense in the group chat. The story they tell about your failure while everyone listens. You are not just being disrespected. You are being displayed. And the person doing it knows exactly what they are doing. Machiavelli understood that power is always performed. A king does not just defeat a rival. He executes him in the town square. Why? Because the lesson is not for the rival. The rival is already dead. The lesson is for everyone watching. Public humiliation works the same way. The humiliation is not for you. It is for the room. It is a demonstration. It says, look what I can do to this person. Look how they take it. And if you laugh along, if you play it off, you have just agreed to your own degradation. Here is the mechanism. Someone says something cruel about you in front of others. Maybe it is your weight, your career, your relationship status, your past mistakes. It is phrased as a joke, so objecting makes you look humorless. Everyone laughs. You are supposed to laugh too. But inside, something breaks. Because you know it was not a joke. It was a power move. And the worst part? No one defends you. They laugh because it is easier than confronting the aggressor. And in that moment, you learn something terrible. You are surrounded by witnesses, but you are completely alone. Comment right now if someone has ever humiliated you in public and no one said a word. Machiavelli watched princes fall to this. Not because they were weak, but because they allowed themselves to be mocked publicly without response. The court interprets silence as permission. If you do not defend yourself, no one else will. And more importantly, the person who humiliated you will do it again. Because it worked. Here is what you do not do. You do not wait until later to address it. Public disrespect requires public consequence. Not aggression, not a scene, but a clear, calm boundary in the moment. Do not speak to me like that. 4 words. No smile, no softening, just truth. The room will go silent. Good. Let it. Because you have just shifted the power. The humiliation is no longer yours to carry. It is theirs. And everyone is now watching them, not you. But most people will not do this. They are too afraid. They worry about making it awkward. But it is already awkward. You are just deciding who will hold the discomfort. And if you hold it every time, you will carry it forever. There was a General Machiavelli wrote about who had a lieutenant that mocked him in front of the troops. Small things. A comment about his age. His caution in battle. The general ignored it because he valued loyalty over pride. But the troops did not see loyalty. They saw weakness. And within a month, the lieutenant had more influence than the general. He had humiliated his superior into irrelevance. You are that general every time you let someone make you the punchline. Here is the truth. People who humiliate you publicly do not respect you privately. It is not a joke that went too far. It is not a miscommunication. It is a deliberate act of dominance. And it will continue until you make it more costly to do than to stop. Machiavelli said that the prince must make examples. Not out of cruelty but out of clarity. So that everyone knows the boundary. You do not have to destroy someone. You just have to show that crossing you has a price. And that price is distance, coldness, removal of access. If someone humiliates you and you continue to include them in your life as if nothing happened, you have taught them that humiliation is acceptable. They will do it again. Maybe not next week, but soon. Because you have shown them that your dignity is not a line. It is a suggestion. Stop suggesting. Start enforcing. If this is hitting you where it hurts, good. Subscribe so you do not lose this clarity when the discomfort fades. There is a specific type of person who humiliates others. They are insecure. They need to lower you to feel taller. And they choose public settings because they are cowards. They would never say it to you alone, because alone, you might respond. Alone, they might have to face who they really are. But in a crowd, they are safe. The laughter protects them. So remove the laughter. Respond in the moment with such calm severity that no one knows whether to breathe. Why would you say that? Ask it slowly. Let the question hang. Make them answer in front of the same people they tried to impress. Most of them will stammer, backtrack, claim it was just a joke. And that is when you say, it was not funny. 2 sentences. You have now shifted the entire room. You are no longer the victim. You are the authority. And the person who tried to humiliate you is now exposed. This is Machiavellian power. Not volume. Not aggression. Precision. The surgical removal of respect from someone who thought they were untouchable. Behavior 6. The poison of conditional loyalty. There are people who are loyal to you only when it costs them nothing. When life is smooth, they are by your side. When you are winning, they celebrate you. But the moment you struggle, the moment you need them, they vanish. Or worse, they stay but resent you for needing them. This is conditional loyalty, and it is one of the most corrosive forces in human relationship. Machiavelli wrote that the prince should never trust a man whose loyalty shifts with fortune. Because that man is not loyal to you. He is loyal to what you provide. Your status, your resources, your utility. And the second you stop providing it, he will find someone who can. You have experienced this. The friend who is available for every party but never for your pain. The family member who brags about you when you succeed but goes silent when you fail. The partner who loves you when you are strong but punishes you for being human. They are not with you. They are with the version of you that serves them. And you have spent years trying to be that version, haven't you? Here is the trap. You think if you just get back to winning, back to being strong, back to not needing anything, they will love you again. But they never loved you. They loved your performance. And a performance is not a person. It is a service. Machiavelli saw rulers destroyed by this. They surrounded themselves with people who cheered in times of plenty and scattered in times of war. And when the enemy arrived, the prince stood alone, betrayed not by strangers, but by those who swore allegiance at every feast. Tell me in the comments, who disappeared from your life the moment you stopped being useful? Conditional loyalty reveals itself in crisis. That is the test. When you lose the job, when you get sick, when your reputation is attacked, when you are no longer shiny, who stays? Not out of obligation but out of love. Those are your people. Everyone else was just a guest at your table. And you must stop feeding guests as if they are family. Here is what conditional loyalty sounds like.